So, kia ora tātou katoa, ko Debbie Kotukua te Puingoa, ko au te kua to USP comments. Campus Director here at USP. Thank you for coming and thank you for being online to some of you as well. We have the pleasure of the Director of Finance from the Ministry of Education here as well today. So she can answer some questions along the way as we move through. I just want to do a presentation about why become a teacher first, and then we'll talk about what it looks like in terms of enrolling in the prerequisites to get into the program. Okay, are we okay with that? And we'll save questions to the end. And if you're online, you can write a question in the chat box and I will come to you towards the end with the other questions, okay? So I just sort of thought, why become a teacher? I mean, you're talking to a person that has spent 37 years being a teacher. So, I think it's a great career. So if you're considering a career in teaching, there's a number of really good reasons why you could be a teacher. It can be challenging, it can be, and there are numerous benefits. Some feel a calling, to impact the lives of other people, to shape the minds of young people, and others wanting to make a difference in the education system. So why teach? One of the cool things about teaching is that no 2 days are the same. Some people really flourish in a job where they just do the same thing every day and know exactly what's expected. But for lots of other people, repeating the same thing from 8 to 4 every day is just not their cup of tea at all. They want to work with people, and if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to be stuck in a rut, then teaching could be just right for you. It's got built-in variety as you work through new units, new topics, and you work with new children each year. You work with different teachers, and in your career, you'll work with different schools. You'll get to learn as well as teach. One of the main reasons for wanting to teach is to devote to a lifelong learning. I still learn in my role, even though I've just spent 37 years as a teacher. You never stop learning as a teacher. There's always professional development to do. There's always new things to learn and teaching changes along the way. So you don't only get to share your knowledge that you already have, but you get to dig deeply into other topics as the world changes. So suddenly we're talking about AI and information technology and things like that that maybe 20 years ago when I was starting out as a teacher, we weren't talking about. With the help of training and courses like USP Bachelor of Education, teachers can handle probing questions. You can teach students to see subjects in entirely new ways. Teachers must also stay on the top of new technologies and trends and historic events, ensuring that there'll always be something new to learn. I'm sure, teachers probably did something around tūrama last night, around Māori education and why that's important in the course. Those kinds of things, there's always something different. One of the other reasons that people choose teaching as a career is because it makes a difference and it has visible results. If you ask most potential teachers, why do you want to be a teacher, they'll mention the ability to make a difference in children's lives. Unlike other professions, a teacher you see upfront and visible changes, like the little aha moment when a child learns to read, or suddenly connects words, or does a maths equation for the first time. Those are really exciting moments in time. So I teach so that you can impact students from all walks of life, imparting lessons that will shape the next generation and ultimately our country. As a teacher, you can work all over the world. I've worked in Aotearoa, Australia, the UK, and the Cook Islands. So a Bachelor of Education is transportable to other countries and can give you skills that you can take with you no matter where you end up in your life. And I think that's one of the great things about a transferable qualification. Of course, we want you here to teach our kids, but we know that that's not always the reality for everybody, that the Cook Islanders are really transnational, and so you need to have a qualification that will can go with you in a way that's respected, and our qualification is it's internationally recognised, and for example, the New Zealand Teachers Council recognises the USP Bachelor of Education. You'll benefit from flexible hours. For parents, many reasons for wanting to teach involves convenient scheduling around your children's lives. My husband's a teacher too, so we always, it really worked for us that we were both teaching and we could be flexible around our schedules with our own children who are at school, not the same school as us, but often school holidays. But teachers also, of course, do lots of work and lesson prep in the holidays as well, and at the day's end, often when the kids are in bed. Some people think, I want to be a teacher because I want the holidays, right? Well, that may not be the number one reason to become a teacher. Summer holidays are definitely a perk. Not to mention the other 3 school holiday breaks that you get in the year, but just being paid during that time off outside of the academic year is certainly a bonus for teachers, remembering that teachers still work in those holidays. They're often doing professional learning or attending workshops or prepping lessons ready for the next term and those sorts of things. The other thing that being a teacher can afford you is job security. While other jobs are being replaced by technology, there's always going to be the need for teachers. There's a high demand for qualified teachers in Rarotonga and the Paenua, as well as in other countries. There's also a high degree of mobility within the education field, so you can move from ECE in primary or into secondary or onto tertiary, and I've taught in all those places across my career. Former teachers can also go on and become fantastic administrators, advisors, guidance counsellors, trainers. I did a lot of training for the Pacific Chiefs of Police for a while. So your education degree gives you lots of scope to do other things as well as teach. One of the beautiful things about teaching is it's a really social job. Every day you're surrounded by people. And if you like people, that's a good thing. If you don't like people, teaching's probably not the career for you, all right? You'll work as part of a team in a school with your colleagues, and you'll interact with students every day. Teachers also have the part to become a really integral part of the community, because people look to teachers for guidance in the community, and getting to know parents and your community members and what they want for their students is really important as part of the job. While you're also in a very social space, you also have a lot of independence. You're the teacher in charge of your own classroom, and you'll be able to make decisions regarding what's best for your students, and you'll lay out your own lesson plans. You'll usually do that in conjunction with some peer support. Often in syndicates, you'll do the planning together. You'll need to follow standards like that are in the curriculum documents, but you'll have your opportunity to be able to inject your own personality into your job and with your students in your class. The other thing that you'll have is that you'll have way more than just a job. At the end of the day, teaching offers a paycheck. It's also a really satisfying career. You know that you've made a difference in many people's lives. Through interacting with students of different backgrounds, you'll gain greater understanding of your own community, and you'll be able to flex your creative skills. So I teach maybe for your own personal growth. I know I'm probably a far different person than I would have been if I'd never done an education degree, and it impacted on me as a parent as well. So if you're thinking about doing a Bachelor of Education with USP, there's a range of ways that you can do that. You can come straight from school, or you could be a person that's looking for a career change. Maybe in the back of your mind, you've always wanted to be a teacher, but the time hasn't been right, or you haven't been in the right space to be able to do it, then this works for you as well. When you do a Bachelor of Education, you can look at early childhood education, you can look at primary education, special education, so that's like inclusive ed, to move its name a bit, or as a secondary teacher. And you can study full-time or part-time. So lots of people do things differently because that's what fits with their life, yeah? So if you're doing a full-time course, that would be 4 papers or 4 courses each semester. Now that's a full-time course, okay? Which means that in 3 years, if you did a full-time course, in 3 years, you would graduate with a Bachelor of Education. To be able to get into the program, you need 60 credits at level 3 or equivalent or a mature entry. If you've been out of high school for a while and you don't have NCA, there's other ways that you can get in if you have been working or didn't do NCA and you're over the age of 21. So you need 60 credits at level 3, 10 numeracy at level 1 or above, 5 credits at level 2 in reading at level 2 or above, and 5 credits in writing at level 2 or above. So those are things that you need to get in. So at USP, we'll have a student learning support officer full-time here next year, and they will be able to help you with your studies. One of the things about moving to tertiary education from secondary education is it takes a little while to find your feet. And you can, because there isn't a teacher saying, hey, Debbie, you've got to get this assignment in. You have to be the owner of your own learning, and you have to meet those assessment tasks and do the work yourself because you're all right. So that's one of those things. But we will have a student learning support officer, and she will be here full time. And you can say, there's no such thing as a dumb question. You can go and say, help, I don't know how to do this. What's a cover page for an assignment? I've forgotten my password, or how do I find resources to do this assessment task, or how do I structure an essay? Those sorts of things. And she will run some workshops, do one-on-one independent training with you as well. So we'll offer pastoral care through that student learning support. So we have a counsellor. Sometimes things get tough and impact on your studies, and you need someone to talk to outside of what's going on in your immediate family. So we'll offer that sort of pastoral care. And the Students Association do some fun things with students as well. And we'll have study groups. And so that means that you can have study buddies and you can help each other along the way with your study. Because sometimes, I prefer to learn with people. Not everybody learns like that, but I prefer to learn with people. Some people just like, leave me alone, I just want to do this myself. It's up to you. The other thing about the BE program at USP is that we do contextualise our papers to the Cook Islands. It's really important that if you're going to be a teacher in the Cook Islands, that you're not learning about the Fiji curriculum because maybe the lecturer is offering the class online and talking about the Fiji curriculum. So what I've done with the BE programs is negotiate with the schools education to make sure that our assignments are always linked to the Cook Islands curriculum, because it's of no use to you to be aligning the assignments to someone else's curriculum and to what is needed in our school. Sometimes we have the advisors come in and offer support. Strickland's come in and the numeracy papers and brought everyone up to speed about the ministry's developments in the way that they're approaching numeracy and those kinds of things. So we're really lucky to have a wonderful relationship with the advisors at the ministry, and they're supporting it as well. There'll also be school-based learning and placements that will be done in Cook Island schools and sometimes in the Paenua. But if you are from the Paenua and let's say you're from Archie, you can't go to Archie every single placement. All right, you've got to have a variety of placements and understand early childhood and juniors and middle school and sexual academic primary. So there's a variety of placements available. Just to give you an example of the kind of costs for a BEd, if you aren't eligible for a scholarship, these are the kinds of costs. I used to work at University of Waikato, and the Bachelor of Education in other countries is about, it's close to double, because by the time you fly down and back and you your living costs in Aotearoa, then it really mounts up in terms of the costs. There are going to be, there is always scholarships that are advertised by the ministry, and you apply. And quite often my students ask me to write a letter of support for those scholarships. But there's also some other scholarships that Cindy is going to talk about shortly, and maybe share some ideas about what's going to be available next year. So the USP Bachelor of Education is recognised by the Cook Islands Ministry of Education as an internationally recognised qualification, so you can take it overseas. Recognised by the New Zealand Teachers Council, and you go, if you graduate, once you've graduated, you go to the top of the teacher's pay scale, which is nice. Instead of starting at the bottom and working your way up, you've got a degree and you go up. So it's really fantastic. I wanted to share this this little video. So Ben is up at Te Leona College as a graduate from USP. He did a double major in Māori and geography, and he's teaching those subjects up there. So they actually have 3 classes of level 3 Māori students, which is pretty exciting, I think. Yeah, so he's our poster boy at the moment, and he does a great job. So if you are interested in doing a Bachelor of Education, we have asked you to register on the little iPad that as you come in, and we can send you some information. The enrolments are online already, and you can start to enroll, because you have to go through a process in the enrolment to check your academic transcripts, and you need some identification verification, so like a passport or driver's license and things like that to prove that who you are. And that's just part of enrolling at university. And what happens then is that you are offered a place in the program. So what will happen then is that with the scholarships that are available, or you can apply to every year there's scholarships, but next year the ministry have identified some scholarships as well, and I'll ask someone to come and speak about those at the moment. 15 scholarships available. And you want to come up and just so that, because then people here can see you as well as hear you. That would be really great. Just tell us about it.
Kia ora. I'm Sanjita, the Finance Director for Ministry of Education. This scholarship, I think most of you are aware of the current CTT program. Okay. So this scholarship is just a rebranding and probably a different way we are looking to actually award this to the students. Before, I think you need to have like some experience in teaching before you can enroll in this program. Now it's like a different rebranding with this. So some of the things that we have decided for this scholarship, there are 15 spots available. You would be given a weekly allowance of a minimum wage, whatever is the applicable minimum wage, which might be $300 to $315 per week. You can actually we are not going to put any restrictions. If you want to work part-time, it's 12 hours per week. All the textbooks will be covered by the ministry. And also after the completion of the whole program, the placement where you are going to teach and other things that will be actually done by the ministry. Okay, we will be doing that. As part of for this program, I think in order to meet your enrollment requirements and other things, you'll have to register go to USP. Our advertisement would be starting sometime next month, November. I'm still in October in my mind. Yes, so it will be starting shortly. So based on whatever is being advertised that time, we'll have an application form and other things. We'll call you for interview. Okay. And probably by that time, even we can share some of the details from the USP, because there might be some students who might miss or don't see our post or anything for the advertisement. We can always get the details from the USP. In terms of any other things from the ministry, those students who would be getting that scholarship, we will hold our own special induction session for you guys. Okay, just to tell you about what are your eligible tuition and other things that we will be actually offering as part of that scholarship. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Sanjita. I just think it's incredible that this rebranding of the scholarships has been done. I think it's an exciting way that you can do full-time study and finish in 3 years with a bachelor's degree and go into your profession with a full qualification. I think that you're going to get a stipend of a minimum wage as well is really kind of it really makes a difference, because you could be going and working in a supermarket and get the minimum wage, but you can get the minimum wage for actually improving your skills and improving your qualifications to a point that you will just go on in your career. So what we'd ask you to do is to enroll in the program. once you've got an acceptance of the program, then that proves to the ministry that you've already met all of the criteria for teaching by enrolling in the program. And then I think that sits you in a place that's stronger in terms of your scholarship application. Yeah, and then you will have an interview and you will convince them that you're going to be the best teacher ever in the whole world, and they will say, sold. All right, so that's the way the process is going to be. We can run more information sessions for people if they missed out, if we know other people that are interested. I know the ministry are looking to provide those scholarships to the best people that they think will make the best teachers. And I think that's understandable because I think it's an incredibly generous scholarship. And I know people have said, maybe I should be a teacher now. So yeah, like I said, straight from school or career changer, you know, have a think about it. Don't get offered a scholarship and you've already enrolled. You can withdraw from the program and there's no penalties, as long as you do that before the start of the, I think it's week 3 of the semester. Right, so there's nothing to lose to go through the enrolment process. Apply for the scholarship, see if you can get a scholarship, and then you might decide that you're going to study part-time anyway, or you might decide that you can't do that and it doesn't work for you at this point in time, and maybe another point in time is your time. Okay, are there any questions from anybody?
What is the time frame with regards to knowing that you're accepted to get the scholarship?
Sometimes probably before January. One of the things would be for our criteria that you have been also accepted in the program by the university, and that is saved as an like a bonus point for you for us to consider. Yeah. So we are planning to do this before the semester 1 of the university courses. It should be like somewhat beginning February or end of January. So it should be done.
So yeah, you can get your applications in, they're open already, and get that job done, and then it's in the system and working through the system. And I mean, I just think it's an amazing opportunity to stay home and get your degree and come out in 3 years fully qualified. And I know that some of the previous students are very envious of this new opportunity, sitting there. But there's also been lots of students who have done more than their necessary papers while they've been studying so that they can come out the other end. So if you have got any questions, here is the cook.islands@usp.ac.fj for Fiji, or you can please, if you could, just put your details into the iPad there and we'll send you some information. There's also some prospectus on the table and some little things that you can take away that give you ideas about the program. But please don't be akamara to come in and say, hey, what was this about? I forgot about what you said, or anything like that. There's like, we're here to support you if you want to do this. And somebody today was trying to enroll and she was having difficulty, so she just popped in after work and sat next to Poko in the office, and they just went through and did it together. All right, so like, it's not a biggie. You know, we're here to help you, and so is the ministry. Yeah. Okay. We're finished. Anyone want to sing the karaoke now or anything like that? No questions. No. Thank you for coming. Enjoy your evening. Thank you, Ministry of Education, for this innovation and this generosity. We're very excited to work in collaboration with you to support the development of teachers. Yay, it's exciting. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Okay, thank you everybody online. Any questions, let me know. Okay. Right.